All right, y'all. So there's a lot of talk, especially in the internet world, about high value and low value men. There's a lot of talk, and if you guys watch my videos, I discuss everything, health, fitness, God, science, physics, all of it. So when I hear these conversations, I'm gonna chime in. So here's how I see it, folks. If you are interested in my take on it, high value. When you think of a high value, and I hear what I hear, I'm always hearing high value tied to your earning power, right? So you're a high value individual depending on your ability to go out and earn. Your earning power, how much you're earning. You're making 6 figures, 7 figures, whatever you have. So your high value is tied directly into your bank account. Let no one fool you, right? Now, there's some cagey and crafty mindsets out there that will try to, hoodwink you around it. But no, the fact of the matter is, when they use the term high value, they're tying that correlate. It's correlative. It's a correlative. It's correlating directly to your bank account. If your bank account is 6, 7 figures, whatever, you're considered your high value. If it's lower, then you're low value, right? So your value is being tied to your bank account. Let nobody fool you. Men to men, we're not going to use euphemisms. We're going to use dysphemisms. We're going to call a spade a spade. Your high value is tied to your bank account. That's it. And a lot of the intelligence that I'm hearing speaking don't have the capacity or a broader expansion on the horizon to really determine what high value is. So it's monetary, right? So high value is tied to monetary value. And if your monetary value is high, then you're a high value person. If your monetary value is low, then you're a low value person. I'm just giving it to you raw and uncut. But peep game. I've debunked that whole theory. I debunked it personally. I might not have debunked it in your mind, but I've debunked it in mine. And here's why. If you're a multi-millionaire, if you're a billionaire, you're a trillionaire, whatever, a gazillionaire, you will be hated. You will incite hatred. You will have the animus and the angst of many. Many will despise you. Many will abhor you. Many will not like you. It doesn't matter. You will have many of people that will have a certain animus and animosity and bellicose attitudes towards you. People will be belligerent. You have belligerents towards you. You will incur the ire, the anger, the ire of many. And you're a multi-billionaire. It's called class warfare, or or not just class warfare. It will also be those in your same tax bracket. You will still have others in your tax bracket, your counterparts, your peers that are on equal footing with you, even keeled, meaning they're multi-billionaires or trillionaires or gazillionaires or millionaires themselves, and you will still elicit their angst, their anger, their animosity. You will always have people that hate you, period. Let that sink in, and let that sink in well, because this is how I debunk this whole high value theory nonsense. Now, let's say your monetary value is low. We're going to go with their theory. So if your monetary value is low, and again, I connect the dots that's how they determine high value. That would mean you're low value, right? And again, I'm going with their theory. I'm going to debunk it all in a second, but let's just give them the benefit of the doubt. Let's agree with them for now. For argument's sake, let's say that they're right, but it's bullshit, but let's just say they're right. If you're a low value man, you will have incurred the wrath, the angst, ire, the hatred, animosity, the animus, the bitterness. You will still have those who despise you and would want to see you fall. If you're a low value man, if you're low value, people are going to hate you. You're going to have people that hate you, period. If you're moderate value, you're going to have people that hate you, speak ill of you. People that will have nothing good to say about you. People who wish you misfortune and all the other badness of life. So high value, moderate value, low value, you will still have people that hate you. I want to emphasize and stress that. Let that really, really sink in. There will always be men that hate you, women that hate you, men that speak ill of you, and women that speak ill of you. No matter what bracket, tax bracket you find yourself in. That is a universal fact. That is a universal fact. You will incur the negative opinions of others no matter what tax bracket you are in. Fact. Not an opinion, not my sentiment. It is a natural course of life. Okay. If that is a fact, which it is, then in my mind, this whole high value nonsense is nothing but that, nonsense. It's nonsense. Again, high value being tied to your bank account. And it is. Even if they say it's not, if you let them talk long enough, they'll tell you that it is. Just listen with a keen and adroit and an acute ear, meaning sharp, keen, aware, conscious, and they'll tell you it is. But again, they're crafty and cagey. They'll say they'll try to get around it because they don't want to come off as being too materialistic or too shallow. So they'll try to skirt around the bank account aspect and say, no, it's not. You listen to the so-called experts, they'll try to tell you high value means this, it means that, it blah, 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 and more blah. Bullshit. I call bullshit. It means how high is your bank account? I'm just keeping it uncut, raw and uncut. Again, if it is a fact that you will have the angst and ire of people in general, no matter what your tax bracket is, then if you're high value and you're still getting the same angst and hatred of people no matter what, then being high value is bullshit if it's tied to your bank account. In my mind, I've debunked that theory. Your value, because again, we're talking about value here, your high value. And the theory is that it's tied to your bank account, although they won't admit it. That theory is a crock of shit and it's nonsense. And do not let your mind be tricked. Do not let them trick you into believing this nonsense that your value is in your earning power solely. It is an aspect of your value, but it's not your value. It is not your value. Let me tell you what your value is first, then I'm going to tell you what the high value agenda really is. Your value, your true value as a man, we're going to talk to the men here, as a man, is how sincere and genuine your relationship with your God is. I'm going to say it again. Your value depends on the sincerity and the genuine, the relationship, the connection that you have with the Most High God of Israel. That's how you know your value. Your true worth is not in your bank account or in the opinion of others, but rather it is in the bank account of your God. How rich is your relationship with God? That's good. I'm preaching. If your relationship with God has 6 digits, 7 digits, then you are truly high value. When your relationship, when you know where you stand in terms of your relationship with the Most High God, and that relationship is of high value, if that relationship is of high spiritual monetary value, then you are a high value individual. That's your true worth. It is the opinion on what God has to say about you and your relationship with Him, the quality of your relationship with Him, that makes you a high value man, moderate value man, or a low value man. It is your relationship, your bank account that is managed by the Most High God. If that account has 6, 7, 8, 9, if that account has a tremendous amount of zeros, then you are a high value man. Let them not trick you with this materialistic nonsense. Now I can hear the pushback, I can hear the blowback. He hating because he ain't got 7 figures. He hating because I'm driving a Subaru, a 2014 Subaru, and I love my Subaru. You hear me? It's an all-wheel drive, and it gets me through the winter, and it gets me to work and back home, and I take my daughter out. We have a good time. I love my Subaru, all right? He hating because he don't have a Rolex on. You're damn right. I don't have a Rolex on. And I want one, though. Don't get me wrong. I would love to have a Rolex, but I don't have one on. Oh, he's hating because he can't afford a Rolex. I would love to have a Rolex. And I want, and I'm going to work and attempt to get a Rolex. But until I do, I got my phone right here that I'm recording on, and it gives me my time, and that's all I need for right now. He's hating because of this. He said, whatever you want to push back on, know this one answer answers it all. What I just said 2 seconds ago. I know my worth and my value in the eyes of the Most High God. All other opinions are moot. They're pointless. They are useless. And they have no sway on me whatsoever. I am able to toe that line between your opinion of me and God's opinion of me. Your opinions will not sway me one way or the other. Right? So now let me address the true agenda, the true motive of this high value theory. Alfred Adler is one of the most renowned psychologists. I've read several of his books. There's many others, but he stands out and he dominates my mind. Why I love his philosophies, his writings. I've read a lot of his books. If you speak to any psychologist, I'm just throwing him out there, using his book because it's something I was reading recently. If you speak to psychologists, they'll tell you, right, in the animal kingdom in which we belong, the peacocks, there's certain peacocks that female peacocks, when they want to get a mate, they will push all their feathers out. They'll like lift all their feathers up. All their feathers go up, and it's a beautiful thing. You can Google it, check it out. How female peacocks do their mating call, how they get the attention of men, of their male counterparts. And they fluff their feathers, they walk, they strut, and they show their majestic beauty, and that's how they call attention to themselves, right? Psychologists will tell you that in the male, amongst our species, what we do as males is we do the same thing, but we don't flaunt our beauty, our physical features, so to speak. Some men do. You see guys with the tank tops all the time, the wife beaters in freezing cold weather. It's like 40 degrees outside and he has a tank top on, it's cold, but he doesn't care because he's got his muscles out, right? Most guys, that's not how we call our female counterparts. We don't call with our bodies. Some do, but not all. Typically for men, our calling is with stuff, right? And this is where I'm showing you where the high value theory comes from. It's a mating call, right? You find it in the animal kingdom, and again, we belong to the animal kingdom, so it's natural, it's normal. I get it. And what we do, rather than flaunt our feathers like the peacock does, we flaunt our wealth. We flaunt our cars, our Rolexes, our suits, the house that we might have, the houses, how rich we are. We're braggadocious about that, right? We are prideful, we're boastful. That's a way of saying, I am alpha male, look at me. Leave your man and come be with me because I'm a better provider. I'm a higher earner. So it's totally natural in that sense. And now let's continue to peel the onion back. We're going to go behind that. What's behind that? What's behind that? Again, if you study psychology, most psychologists will coalesce around this. They will agree and subscribe to this, that it is the ego satisfying aspect of our minds that drives this. It is an egocentricity or egocentric impetus, right? The ego serves as the impetus, right? It's the force, the driving force. It's egocentric. It's the egotist, right? That that we want to satisfy and gratify our egos. It's really that's the real, like I said, impetus, driving force. It's all about ego, right? So it's not so much about high value, low value. It's more, it's 99.9% ego driven. It's your ego. It's ego, ego, ego. And there's a passage in the Bible that says pride goes before a fall. And pride can be translated into ego. Ego and pride go hand in hand. They're related. So it is my job on this thing is to toe that line between humility and ego, because both are needed. You need ego. We all need ego. Is what makes you get up and go out and hunt, right? So there's nothing wrong with ego, but when the scale is tipped in one to one side, or tipped, when the scale is tipped in one direction, ego only, then it becomes pride, and then you're in trouble. So my job is to be that stabilizing force between humility and ego. And if you understand, when the devil fell, I believe it's in the book of Isaiah, he says, I will ascend to the throne of the Most High, and I will be likened unto the Most High. And that's like the epitome of ego right there. That's the epitome of ego. So when you understand the real driving force behind this thing, you can debunk this whole nonsense theory that your value is tied to your bank account, the amount of money you have. It's it's materialism, right? It's materialism, which is the belief in material, that, in physical stuff. And it's one-sided, it's lopsided, and it's dangerous. It will get you into trouble. And again, I can hear the pushback. I got all the money, I can get my lawyers, I got all the money, I can do this. It gets you into trouble because ultimately, again, the Proverbs, as it's quoted, pride goes before the fall. Your demise, your ego will bring you to a point where you are ultimately, crash. You will ultimately destruct. You'll destroy and you become destructive to yourself, right? That's what the ego does. Your ego will totally destroy you. If it's not checked, monitored, kept it balanced, checks and balance. You know how we have checks and balance? If there's no checks and balance on the ego, you ultimately destroy yourself, you destroy your community, you destroy your family, you destroy a whole host of other things. So the ego is a savage beast if it's not contained, monitored, controlled, and harnessed. Again, not knocking it. You can't knock it because you need it. Again, the ego is necessary for our survival, right? But again, anything left unchecked can become harmful and dangerous. So to those of you out there who are blowing the horns of this high value man tied to your bank account, whether you try to hide it or not, I've disclosed it, right, and uncovered it. I know your true agenda. To those of you who are trumpeting this horn, know that no matter how much materialistic trappings you acquire, it does not define your value. It does not define your value. It has a very small part to play in terms of your value. Understand this: everything over time, everything and everyone is subject to the law of thermodynamics of entropy, which simply means everything erodes and corrodes over time. Everything goes from order to disorder. Everything, in other words, Murphy's law. Things will go wrong. Things will go wrong. Facts, Murphy's law. If things can go wrong, it will go wrong, which ties into thermodynamics, the law, the third law, I believe, the law of entropy. Things fall apart. Everything erodes. Your biology teaches you this. You age, okay? Your hair gonna fall out. I just cut it all off. Because when I was in high school, it started falling off. So I went bald, right? Your ladies, your titties are gonna sag. Gravity's gonna pull them down. Fellas, like I said, the hair's gonna fall out. Your straight posture that we have now as young men is gonna start your spinal cord is gonna start hunching over, right? As we grow, you grow up straight. As you age, boom, starts to curve over. And you see a lot of people walk with that, your posture is hunched. And eventually you completely come over until when you're an older man. You need a cane. So age itself is a telltale evidence sign that everything will end. Everything, you know, from the day of your birth, you're dying. Every single day we take one step closer to death. Every day we die. Every single day we are dying. We're not living, we're dying. You understand what I'm saying? Now, again, I can hear pushbacks. But here's all I say to the pushbacks. The minute you enter into the realm of physical matter, you are dying. The minute you leave that womb and come into physical matter, you're dying. Every single day is one step closer to death. And I know it's not a popular conversation, and I know it's morbid, and a lot of people wouldn't like this topic, don't have the gut or stomach for it. But if you don't, that's fine. Don't watch the video. But understand, every day you are dying. And every day you wake up, you are one step closer to death's door. So again, I serve as that balance. I'm successful in my own right. Make no mistake about it. You know, I've been in finance for years. That's what I do. I'm a financial advisor. I've been in finance for years. I've bought multiple homes, you know, lost vehicles, built, blew up, had multiple Rolexes, Benzes. I mean, trips. Up, down, just like the stock market. That's my business, stock market. Stocks go up, stocks go down. And I've you know, I'm 43 this month. I'll be 43 this month. And I'm still learning as a man how to stabilize myself and be more stable, because my life has been just up and down, up and down. Again, maybe it's a direct correlation to what I do for a living, right? Stocks go up, stocks go down, stocks go down. And I've been, so I can humbly say I'm still learning. I'm still learning. I haven't gotten it all. I'm still learning. I don't have it all figured out yet. Let me just say that. I don't have it all figured out yet, right? Humble, with humility, I say that. But, so yeah, it doesn't matter. It does not matter. All the trappings of success are lovely, wonderful. I love it. You know what I'm saying? But I'm humbled enough to understand, or I'm wise enough to understand, or I'm connected to my Savior, my God, in Jesus Christ's name, enough to understand that it does not define you. It doesn't define who you truly are. Or what you're truly worth, excuse me. It does not define your true value and your true worth. That's an aspect. It's an aspect, but it's a very small aspect. I'm gonna leave you off on this. There are, I'm not gonna say these people's name, they're celebrities, but there are multiple celebrities who are super rich, and they commit suicide. So the point I'm making is cultivate, develop the value and the quality of your relationship with the Most High God, because only His opinion of you truly matters. All other opinions of human beings, it's like the stock market. They go up and down, vacillating, right? Gyrating, right? Oscillating. That's what opinions are. If you're doing something for someone, they have a high value opinion of you. If you're not providing for someone, they have a low opinion value of you, right? They like you depending on the weather, just like the weather. Their opinions change. The tides of their opinion comes in, the tides of their opinion goes out. It's so never let a women's or men's or anyone opinion determine or sway or have any kind of influence on who you are and what value and worth you possess. The only person, or I won't even say person, but the only opinion or the only sentiment on who you are and your value is the Most High God. Peace.